Hey guys, it's Winnie and I'm back. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I watched a Jenna Marbles video and I thought that I would do my version of the video because I thought it was so funny. And I thought that maybe you guys can relate just like how I related to hers. This video, like the title says, is it down there or up there now? I don't know. Are just some dumb things that I thought when I was a kid. I'm hoping some of you thought these things or you thought other silly stuff. We all did, I'm sure we did. And I hope that there's no judgment here because some of these things are pretty dumb. So let's go ahead and get into it. First thing that I thought as a kid that was pretty dumb. I used to think that if ink got on you, like from an ink pen, it would go through your skin, seep into your bloodstream, and eventually stop your heart and you would die. And it terrified me. Even if I had the smallest little ink mark on me, I would scrub it until my skin was red just to get that ink off me. And I remember one time, I honestly thought I was gonna die because my uncle, my son Michael, he was babysitting my older sister and I, and he was tickling our feet. And we were right by the phone. This is when, you had the little rotary phone and there was a notepad and a pen there in case, somebody had to take a message. And I remember he took the pen, he took my foot and just started scribbling the bottom of my foot. And I'm a little kid, so I'm laughing, but at the same time, I'm freaking out because I'm thinking, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. So as soon as I was able to get away, I ran into the kitchen, jumped on top of the counter, and started vigorously scrubbing the bottom of my foot. And I remember I started crying, and my uncle was like, what did I do? It was because I thought I was gonna die, because he had written all over the bottom of my foot. Can you imagine how scary that is as a little kid? I didn't die, obviously, but I honestly thought that. The next dumb thing I thought, when I was a kid, obviously, I had a canopy bed. I had one of those little, it was pink, and I had just watched the Nightmare on Elm Street, the one, of course, with Freddy Krueger, and I was terrified, of course. So I thought that, considering Freddy Krueger had all these crazy ways to kill people and stuff like that, I honestly thought that Freddy Krueger would somehow be on my canopy, and if I yawned, he would sprinkle poison powder into my mouth and I would die. So me, instead of yawning with my mouth open, I yawned with my mouth closed. And it was painful. Have you ever tried it? It's not comfortable. So, yeah, Freddy Krueger, I thought he was gonna get me. The next dumb thing, and this one had consequences, I thought that the girls in movies, when they had glossy lips from lip gloss, it was because they were licking their lips. And I thought that by constantly licking your lips, you would eventually maintain a glossy lipped look. And me, my dumb butt, I constantly licked my lips for probably I don't know, a week. And as a result, my lips got dry, they cracked, they started bleeding, it was painful. It was to the point where my dad had to intervene. He was like, I think you need some lip balm or some chapstick or Carmex or something. And I never did it again. And it wasn't until I think I was probably 9 or 10 that I realized that what these girls were using in the movies, the TV shows, the music videos, was lip gloss. And it wasn't because they were licking their lips. Another dumb thing that I thought that tomorrow could happen at any moment. And that wasn't the case. I realized this because my mom, one time, she said, I'm gonna make a cake tomorrow. And I was so excited because I like cake. Can't you tell? I was so excited thinking that my mom was going to make cake at any moment. I constantly asked my mom, is it tomorrow yet? Is it tomorrow yet? Is it tomorrow yet? She's like, no, it's not tomorrow yet. You have to wait. You still have to go to bed. You still have to wake up in the morning. You still have to take your shower and get dressed. And, we have stuff to do. And it's not going to happen, when it's going to happen when it happens. And I still continue to bug her. And I think she said this in the afternoon. So the whole afternoon, all into the evening, is it tomorrow yet? Is it tomorrow yet? Because I was so excited about this cake. And she eventually made the cake the next day. But I couldn't understand, what's the difference? And you just made me wait. And now I know that, 24 hours, tomorrow. Another goofy thing that I thought, and this one's kind of endearing. I thought that when it was time to be nighttime, it was because God reached for the sun and took it. And not reached down from the sky, but reached up and took it. And that's when it got dark. And that's how, sunsets happened. And so, in the evening one summer, I went outside, sat on the sidewalk. Good thing it was warm. Sat on the sidewalk and I watched the sunset, waiting for God to reach up and grab the sun and take it so it would get dark. I waited so long that I ended up falling asleep. My dad ended up looking for me and he was like, what are you doing out here? And I'm like, I'm waiting for the sun to be taken away by God. And he was like, okay, you need to go to bed in your room, not out here on the sidewalk. So the next stupid thing that I thought that the night before your birthday was when you grew. I thought that if you were to see how tall you were, you went to bed, you woke up the morning of your birthday, you would have grown a couple inches. I honestly thought this, and I did try it out because one year, the night before my birthday, my mom says, you need to go to bed, tomorrow's your birthday. And I'm like, okay. So at the end of there's a long hallway at our house. There's a mirror. I actually marked my height, went to bed, so excited because I thought I'm definitely gonna be taller in the morning. Woke up, I didn't even grow an inch. I felt duped, and I still haven't grown a whole lot of inches since then. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was, growing up was a process. It just didn't happen overnight. The disappointment. Another dumb thing that I thought that shoes were what made you run fast. Didn't have anything to do with your athletic ability or muscle or whether or not you ran every day or aerodynamics. I honestly thought it had to do with your shoes. But here's the thing. I wasn't the only one who thought this. There were a lot of kids in my kindergarten who thought that shoes were what made you run fast. And it was to the point where, the fastest runners during recess, or what do they call it, field day, the fastest runners, kids would say, hey, what kind of shoes you got? I'm gonna see if I can get those. And sometimes people would turn up with those shoes and would be disappointed that they weren't running any faster. Thankfully, I was never able to convince my mom or dad to buy me shoes because I thought that they would make me run fast. It was because I just wasn't a good runner. So they saved some money there. The next thing that I thought that was pretty stupid now that I look back at it is I thought that on any given day, if you looked up at the sky, if there were clouds, and you took note of the time, a year later, at the same exact time, that same exact cloud would be there in the same exact formation. And this was when I was learning about the solar system. Thanks, Miss Marshall. I thought that not only did the Earth rotate around or orbit around the sun, but the clouds just stood still and the Earth turned. So it would eventually make its way back after a year. If I was smarter, I probably would have thought, okay, in 24 hours if I looked up. No, but for me at the time, it was a year. But I never tried to test that theory out. But I do remember one time, it was December 8th. I looked up and I was like, took a picture with my mind. And I'm like, I'm gonna look up at the clouds at the exact same time next year. And I forgot about it. So I'm pretty sure my theory was proven false, but another pretty dumb thing I thought as a kid. I honestly thought that our lungs looked like balloons because, you know, when you're a little kid and they're explaining what lungs are, they're like these little things that, you know, fill up with air inside you. They're like balloons. Or even sometimes if you're watching Mr. Wizard's World, when they do a demonstration about the human body, they use balloons. And I thought they were balloons inside me. I was like, that's so cool. My lungs look like balloons and I have balloons inside me, and everybody does. You have balloons, you have balloons. And so, yes, pretty dumb, I know. The final thing that I thought as a kid that was pretty dumb, I thought that reenactments on Unsolved Mysteries were actual footage. And I couldn't understand why they were having such a difficult time solving these mysteries if they had actual footage. You know? And I'm like, there was somebody there recording that whole entire incident. How come they didn't step in and intervene, or, you know, whatever? Or that has to be a spacecraft, and that's so cool because now I know what it looks like because this person recorded it. No, I thought that those reenactments were actual footage. And I know there was such a thing as reenactments. But now I know. Now I do. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. I feel like that I put myself out there. But I know I should feel better because a lot of you probably thought even goofier things or the same things as me. And I mean, we were kids, so we shouldn't, you know, give ourselves too much crap over it. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.